Well, last night Trump got him to I don't have a nice word for this, but belch it all out. I mean, it was like he got a confession from a guy. Finally said, yes, we're going to murder the oil industry. We're going to murder fracking. I mean, he admitted it. It was like a Perry Mason moment.
In last week's debate, Joe Biden confirmed his plan to abolish the entire U.S. oil industry. I said, you mean no more oil, Joe? Well, that's what I mean. I felt like Perry Mason. You ever watch Perry Mason? That last little... It was always the last minute. I did it. Yes, I did it. I was Perry Mason.
Want to get it off your chest? Call the Dave Weinbaum Show. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you something about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? You're in the right place. Heard in 50 states and 98 countries, we just put 11 years of radio excellence into the can. Now, in our 12th year, the Dave Weinbaum Show is on the air. When I said this, the last show, Friday morning, to J.J. Bradshaw, I had no idea that it was going to be absconded by President Trump that afternoon. And several times later, even yesterday. My only question is, was the president listening live while on Air Force One? Or did one of his staffers feed him this with some Big Macs and fries? Yes, folks, it is the final countdown. Now, please listen to this clip.
The latest Trafalgar poll in Wisconsin shows Biden only up by a single point. And in Pennsylvania, only leading by 2 points. An Emerson poll from Georgia shows Trump leading Biden. I think he'll win by a little bit more than that. And Trump's also edging Biden out in North Carolina by a point. Fox News shows Trump beating Joe Biden by 3 points in Ohio. I think he'll do a little bit better there, too. A new Susquehanna poll shows the president just took the lead in Arizona. We expect him to win that state. And Trump has been holding steady with a 3-point lead in Florida. Republicans looking very good in the early voting there. He also leads in Michigan, another Trafalgar poll. Now, this pollster, he's the only guy that accurately predicted Trump winning Michigan in 2016. That's a significant poll. Trump has a 2-point advantage on Joe Biden in Iowa. We expect him to win there, but Biden up by about 5 in Pennsylvania.
Now, this was last weekend. So I'm pretty sure that Trump has been gaining momentum, not losing it. Michael Moore, no friend of Trump's, agrees. Ladies and gentlemen, this election is a toss-up, except for a few factors. Trump has an excellent record of accomplishment. 3 Nobel Peace Prize nominations for biblical, not just great or whatever you want, it's biblical peace between Israel and Arab countries. Even predominantly Muslim countries. Our best economy ever. Lowest unemployment for blacks, Latinos, Asians, women. Getting us out of foreign wars. Becoming energy independent. A seller of oil, not a buyer. Lowered taxes, especially for middle class fighting China's genocidal pandemic wisely, not beholden to any country like Biden. We're done with mass lockdowns. We're going to pick and choose where we choose to lock down, and it'll be temporary. He knows we need to get back. He knows once we get the vaccine, we're going to have to deal with this like we do with the flu. And this vaccine is weeks away, according to the Trump administration. This promises kept after promises made results in record increases in the youth vote. Voting for who? Trump. They don't want to be locked down for the rest of their lives. Blacks, more than double what Trump got the last time, which was a record for Republicans, especially young black men. Latinos, 40 to 50% possibly from the last election, which was high already, 20s to 30. Plus Trump's enthusiasm level is through the roof compared to even that of 2016. And people like you and me are called Trump chumps by Biden and spineless cowards by Hillary. Even the independents will run away from that. Then there's Robert Reich, who's wanting to take revenge on Trump supporters. Those who won't change, something to think about. What's he going to do with us? What would Perry Mason think? Elad Hakim. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dave Weinbaum with my monologue. I'm here with radio legend in the making. It's J.P. Maxwell.
Good morning, everybody.
And my lovely bride, Lisa Ann Strausser Weinbaum. Honey, you want to say something?
Hey, good morning, and thank you for tuning in. This is a very important show, so
Okay.
don't miss it.
Yeah, I was actually toying with the fact of, well, should I do this anymore or what? And my wife, Lisa, she says to me, and I never think of myself this way. She says, I think it's important you stay on the air at least till the election. Okay? And
True story.
it's a true story. And I says, you really think I'm having any effect? She says, yeah, I think you do. So I don't know.
Well,
it's hard for me to say.
It couldn't hurt, right?
Well, yeah, it could hurt because we do a lot of work for this show, but I'll tell you what, it's a labor of love for me.
It's our patriotic duty.
Yes, and
to
I don't
try to
know.
get through
You know what?
this.
I have no idea whether or not we have our first caller, JJ, but I think we ought to play his music anyway, just in case.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can
All over the place.
singing,
We will rock you.
Bring on that rock and roll.
We will rock you. All right, my friend. All calling from Rolla today, are we?
We are indeed.
This is the,
Steve and I voted this morning at the courthouse.
Oh, you all right? I did it yesterday, but
I know.
let me people.
I got a little post from you and said that sounded like a pretty good idea to me.
Yeah, and we can do it because we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things, Dave.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me introduce you as who you are, which is a 252-year-old man. If you don't mention that, people don't understand the vast wisdom that you have over all those 252 years. So I need to mention that. Now, what's under that tinfoil hat of yours?
Well, Dave, you sing "We Will Rock You" badly, so you probably should stop doing that. But as far as
Okay, I think we need our next interview. Is that? Oh, no.
We're getting static all of a sudden.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we
Where's
get
the
that out of the
crickets
show?
when we need
Where does
them?
it say you got to insult me right away? I thought I was being nice to you.
You are my friend, and I can insult you.
Okay, that's true. All right.
And as far as keeping your show on the air, I don't know what I'd do on Fridays without this show. This is possibly the only positive thing I hear on the air.
Wow.
Everything else is mainstream negative. And the first thing I wanted to speak with you about today is the mainstream media.
Yeah.
The Hunter Biden issue and Joe and his brother and what appears to be corruption has been so suppressed by the mainstream media. About the only place you see it is the conservative media. What's interesting to me about that is that it appears that the mainstream media has finally gone all in to cover that corruption and support Joe Biden. And even if Joe doesn't become president, I think they're praying that the Dems keep the House and gain votes in the Senate. These folks are all in. They've tipped their hand. They've showed their final card. And if Donald J. Trump wins this thing, which I suspect that he's going to handily, and probably going to have a Democrat House, but I think we're going to keep the Senate. These folks have tipped their hand, thus making their credibility zero after the election. The pollsters, much the same way. You notice they've started hedging their bets pretty quickly the last few days. All of a sudden, instead of 17 points ahead, we're 5 points ahead, and then we're 2 points ahead, and then it's a neck-and-neck race. I think they see the hand writing on the wall, too. I think they're seeing a Donald J. Trump landslide.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. The smart ones do see that, but there's a problem with that. There's a problem in that they've pretty much all gone along with these polls that say Trump is losing and it's irredeemable. It's like 2016 again, because the polls actually, in a lot of polls, the Biden lead is growing. And it's BS, and we all know it's BS because of what happened in 2016.
Yes,
so Michael
Moore,
these are
the same pollsters that did this in 2016.
So when Michael Moore comes out and says, "Don't believe the polls," he's no Trump fan. You probably ought to listen to him. All right, and that's what he's worried about. He's seeing the same thing happening now that he saw in 2016. So that's from the other side.
I think that's right. I think you're right on target there. The Tucker Carlson show the other day was the testimony that was given at that thing was pretty damning for the Bidens, all three. And surprisingly, documents, thank God they had copies, that were sent by UPS from one coast to the other. The envelope got opened and the documents went missing. Now, UPS ultimately found them. And I'm not a big conspiracy guy, as you well know. It's difficult for Washington to do a conspiracy because nobody can keep their mouth shut. But it looks to me like CIA sliced that stuff, took a look at it, provided it to the Bidens. That would make perfect sense to me. And this is the sort of thing that a covert agency could get away with.
Sure.
It tells me that the deep state has become desperate. I think they see the handwriting on the wall. I think they see that this ship is sinking, and they're scrambling to do anything they can do to make Joe Biden and his buddies look good,
well,
at least until next Tuesday.
To your point, the FBI has had an ongoing investigation for like a year over the Hunter Biden and his partners' dealings in foreign countries. And while that was going on, Trump was being impeached. Now, wouldn't that have been evidence that Trump wasn't the problem, was really the Biden crime family, including Joe Biden, as we're finding out? So, I mean, that goes right along with that would not surprise me. Another era or something like that, it's, you're just a crazy conspiracy guy. But no, those things happen.
Well, I'm not a crazy conspiracy guy. No, I don't believe in them. But this certainly starting to look like one. And it appears to me that the deep state folks, and let's remember there's a bunch of those on the red side as well as the blue side, I think their desperation is showing. I think they're grasping at straws. And, if Donald J. Trump wins, which I believe that he will in a landslide, think of the investigations that are going to occur after he is sworn in. The popcorn is popped. I can hardly wait because the roots of this thing go so deep. We're looking at a major turnover in government just from people being indicted and convicted, if it actually happens.
Well, we'll see. What else you got for me under that tinfoil hat of yours?
Well, the Middle East peace deal just keeps getting better and better. And the mainstream has not credited Donald Trump at all for any of that. In fact, they've largely ignored it. But I think this is possibly one of the biggest deals, perhaps in my lifetime. It amazes me, and I'd love to hear what the rabbi has to say about that, and I will later in the show.
Yeah, it's not going to be much later either. It's about 15 minutes. Now he didn't. We did the interview yesterday because of the Sabbath now.
Mm-hmm.
So and we talk a lot about that. They're talking about double-digit countries, 10 or more, Arab and countries like African countries, Sudan, Morocco. Amazing. So it's really something.
Yeah, these are Muslim countries that have sworn to hate the Jews, and at the same time are doing the handshaking, making peace with the Jews. I think this is incredible.
Never gets mentioned by the mainstream media. Never.
No, it doesn't.
No questions on the debate about it. No foreign policy. Why? Because Trump has done so much good there. All they want to talk about is the COVID-19, which Trump didn't do. Probably did a more masterful job of containing it than anyone could have.
I think that's the case, and Biden keeps harping on that, and so does Kamala Harris. But right. I've looked at what Trump did, and it seems to me that every step that he took was reasonable and prudent given the information he had at the time. It's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback and look back and say, well, I would have done that differently.
Well, Joe says... Yeah. You got to believe the science. You got to believe the doctors. Well, hey, Joe Biden, did you know that doctors say that, and science says that a baby in a womb is alive?
How about that?
Okay.
Let's not get started on abortion. You'll really be plucking my strings here.
Yeah, well, the guy's a Catholic too. I mean, that's incredible to me. I mean, Catholics are...
Well, self-proclaimed Catholic, but...
Well, he claims he's a Catholic. All right, whatever.
No, it's a Catholic in name only, because you can't at the same time believe what the Bible tells you and agree with abortion. Those two are perpendicular to each other. They are incompatible. Dave, I'm done.
All right, my friend.
Be listening to your show. God bless you. I love it. Keep doing it.
Thank you so much. You're a big part of it, and you know that, and you are a class act. God bless you, J.J. Bradshaw. 252 years old. Give him a little applause, will you? Come on. There you go. Have a great weekend. All right, we've had a couple of calls here, and I don't know. Should we call them back? By the way, my number is 573-578-2700, and this is a special show because I've expanded it to about 11:15. And let's see. Oh, I know what that is.
I figured you probably had a hunch.
Yeah. All right, answer the phone. Come on. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello there.
Good morning.
I was just yelling at you to hurry up and answer the damn phone. Hi there, Adolph.
How you doing?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my house.
Okay. Are you in Dixon or Waynesville?
We're actually about a mile from St. Robert.
Okay.
But our address is Dixon.
All right, that's fine. What do you got for me today?
I got about a 2-minute monologue, if you don't mind.
All right, make it a quick 2 minutes, not a 10-minute 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a quickie.
All right, go ahead.
All right. We've been running the government with people full of lies and deceit, whose vision has been political correctness and awareness since God knows when. And look where we're at. What has happened to just plain old ordinary honesty and the truth? The politicians seem to think that they have to hide behind this veil of lies, platitudes, and deceit as if they are in a game. The real problem with the Washington, D.C. area is that the only object of the game is to stay in Washington, D.C. and accumulate more power and large sums of money at the citizens of our country's expense. Shame on us for allowing this to happen, and shame on them for abusing the privilege of serving this great country instead of their own power and monetary interests. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, and all the others that have stayed 20 to 50 years have blinded us by their use of experience and the unholy alliance of beating frenzied lobbyists with those elected officials just to get reelected. My supreme wish is to empty the oversized swamp this has created when President Trump gets reelected and hopefully return sanity to our government. If that doesn't happen soon, I fear it will never happen. Our current education system is overrun with idealistic and socialist idiots whose numbers in our school systems will soon overtake us. God help us all.
That was pretty good. You wrote that sucker out, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, that's very good. You're going to be, you going to get your own show. You're going to be competing with me. Tell you what.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, that's good stuff. And the problem is, who you're going to, it's great to say, get rid of them all and we'll get new people in there. What's going to stop the new people from being just like the old people? I mean, it might take a while, but I don't know how you control it. It has to be almost self-controlled because they have to have some power to do stuff that the ordinary citizen can't. And if they subvert that and they corrupt it, it's almost like you need a revolution or something,
Yeah, I know.
And even
I don't have all the answers.
What are you going to replace it with? I see this in business
question.
too.
Well, I'm going to go do my part. I have a conference here shortly for our poll judges.
Oh, cool!
So I can get ready because I'm a poll judge for the election.
I voted.
Yeah, we already did too.
Yeah, because did you vote because you're old or what? How did you weasel in?
No, because I won't be there. I got to be at a poll.
I see.
Poll judge.
I see. Well, you watch those people down there, okay? You're gonna be a poll judge.
We'll make sure that it's all up and up. And
okay.
All that other good stuff.
Yeah, we need to send you to Philadelphia or someplace like that. That's where we need to send you. You're not going to have any problems down there. I bet you have.
I wore my MAGA hat.
No, cool. All right, thanks a lot, my friend. You have a great time. Say hello to Joanne, and I'm glad you voted. And remind Joanne to vote, too, in case she hasn't.
She already got her done.
All right, good. Well, Lisa's been a little tardy,
all right.
but there she is.
Have
She's working away. What are you looking at me like that for? That's wrong.
This is very hard work over here. I am really toiling. Bad putty cat.
Very catty of you.
Bad putty cat.
It's so catty of you. Come on, wasn't that good? Did you like that? No. Come on, it's better. Do it again, because I thought it was very good.
No, cat. It sounds like a sick alien animal. Oh, that's right. It is you.
I got to give her that
one. No. You got to give her that one. Yeah, give her some applause. Right. You know what I did? I went and I looked really hard. I Googled it. Cats hissing and screaming and all that stuff. And I found a few, but they didn't really sound right. And then I started doing it myself. I said, you know what? I even asked Lisa if that sounded like a cat. She says, nah. But I thought it did.
We got bored waiting for the rabbi to call in to do the recording, so we'll just try this out.
The rabbi was late. What's wrong with him? I know what I feel like right now. By the way, the phone number is 573-578-2700. Call in, get it off your chest. And Chester, speaking of chest, how's the sound coming in? Are we okay on Facebook?
Yeah, we are good on Facebook. It's going on the website, and of course, later after the show, you can get this. We're anywhere that podcasts are found: Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of those places. And we have a comment on Facebook too. Gary Hughes says that in a way, it's worse than it was in 2016 because of all the hate and in brutality witnessed by Trump supporters. Many, maybe most, don't want to admit they're Trump supporters, but President Trump is ahead in expectation polling, and he says you also make a difference, Dave, so don't quit.
Oh, hey, that's really kind of you, the last part, and everything else you said was pretty accurate, I thought.
And I think it's interesting that Michael Moore came out with those comments because there could have been some liberals that are going to vote for Biden thinking, oh, we're ahead, we don't need my vote, and he's going, hey, don't trust him, get out there and vote, just like we tell people don't trust the polls, get out there and vote for Trump.
What I'd say is maybe the mainstream media will silence him. Because that's an anti-Trump thing, and it'll work against them. So they're all saying it's won already. I mean, they're out there celebrating.
But
just
2016,
like
they said the same thing.
I know, it's great.
So just remember, if you're voting for Trump, it's November 3rd. If you're voting for Biden, November 4th. Yeah, that's your election day.
Yeah, most of them, what happened was they sort of gave up everything when they voted early.
Exactly.
And now and a lot of them didn't necessarily vote for Biden. So they might be a little bit ahead, but I think the Trump enthusiasm, you see these rallies, guys. You see these rallies out there. You had them in Florida yesterday. And he goes to Tampa, and that's what I'm thinking about right now. It's like 30,000 people. It's like 100 degrees out there. Okay? Biden gets there later at night. He's somewhere else in Florida. He gets there later at night. He's got 100 cars. So let's say there's 3 to a car. That's 300 people compared to 29,000. And then the skies open up, and there's a huge thunderstorm. So what does Biden do? He closes the lid. He leaves.
Back it up, y'all. We're done here.
Yeah, we're done here. Oh, my God. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Weekend at Bernie's. Somebody's like carrying him around, and he's actually dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's
makes you wonder if there's just a really good what are they called? Not puppeteer. I'm losing the name of it. Just back behind him, just kind of working his jaw and all that for him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of what seems to be happening.
It's actually sad.
I think we need right now is a Sicilian moment. I really do. I just have to have that. I don't know why. I think I'm a little Italian. The Jews and the Italians. We're from the Mediterranean, for goodness sakes.
May your talents and exaggerations meet halfway. Forget about it.
Well, Joe Biden's, his Italian name for his crime family, and the name for Joe is Joe Two Masks Biden. He wears 2 masks. All right? Isn't that incredible? He's a 2-masker.
Yeah, it really is.
He's a 2-masker, And pretty soon he puts 3 masks on. I guarantee you, he'll pass out.
Yeah.
He won't come back. It's incredible. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Chester from north of Duluth.
Well, hi, Chester. How are you?
You're coming in loud and clear.
Okay.
There was a brief shut off where it kind of flickered, and then you went off for about a minute under J.G. Bradshaw. But that might have been a local issue.
We keep having this issue every once in a while with Facebook. It'll try to stall us out, even though our software is up and running and all that. And the show before the election, I'm not terribly surprised. So just hang with us, or if you need to switch over to the website, you can do that.
Remember who we're dealing with. Okay. You got anything else for me, sir?
Yeah, the new thing to start watching for, and it will be poo-pooed as a conspiracy theory, but the evidence is starting to show up that everything we've heard about with COVID has been a fraud and a lie from the start, and it goes back to what we originally said when this whole thing first started, which is yes, it is a disease, it is a serious illness. It's deadlier than the flu for some people, but the counting has been so lied about. We're talking possibly an order of 10, meaning if they told us 200,000 people died, it's like 20,000 people might have died.
Yeah,
and it might even be less than that.
Right.
It is that big of a fraud because everybody who has died they will swab test somebody as they're passing away or after they've passed away and say, oh, look, he's got COVID.
Right.
Never mind he was hit by a car.
Right.
He's got COVID, therefore they're counting it that way. So
I think these numbers came from the CDC where it's 94% of the people credibly have died from something else besides COVID.
and only 6%
So
of the
question
people have died from the COVID. That's like 30,000. Huh?
They're going to scream at you for saying
I don't
that
care.
because, see, they're claiming that, they've got COVID. But
I know.
Yeah, but that's
you got
not
these
what killed them.
idiot fact checkers on Twitter. They've already done this to me on the show, actually. That's when I said it originated in China, in Wuhan. And they claim that was wrong. That was phony information.
Well, and my wife, who is an RN, she's been an RN for almost 20 years, flat out told me, she said, what's going to happen here, late summer to early fall, they're going to have more tests available, and they're going to say there's more positives. But it's only because they can confirm more or confirm them because the tests are now available. She said, that doesn't mean the outbreak's actually worse. It's probably actually better, but the numbers will go up, and they'll be able to skew that any way they want, and she was 100%
because
correct.
what you're eventually going to find anyway, and we've all known this, except this is completely going to be ignored by the mainstream media, is that as testing goes up, the so-called infection rate goes up, but that simply means that you've got it. It doesn't mean you're sick.
Right.
And it's going to be just like common cold. Also, that's the other problem. The more advanced the testing is getting, the more able it is to detect the disease at lower levels, which means you're picking up people who have absolutely no symptoms, will never have no symptoms. Their body has completely fought off the disease, but the antibodies are there, and you're going to get picked up as having.
And here's the other thing.
And that's where the scam is. That's slowly coming out.
Here's the other thing: herd immunity.
Oh yeah.
That means if it's starting to weaken this disease. It doesn't have the same punch as it did, and we know who it's going to affect more than not: old people like me, people with diabetes, people who are handicapped otherwise, heart disease, cancer. And
we've known that since the very beginning.
Yeah,
remember, the Surgeon General got his butt handed back to him because he made that basic statement, except everybody turned it into some kind of a racist issue because he pointed out that the comorbidities are higher in minority groups.
All right, my friend, I think you've contributed very, very well to the show. Hi to Martha, and thank you for the report on our Facebook sound. The show has sounded so much better that we do it on a podcast now, isn't it? I mean, it's great. The sound is great. Let me tell you what else you got in this show. I mean, Rabbi Moshe is going to come up any second now. Cheryl Chumley's coming up at 10. Elad Hakim at 10:20. And then, of all people that I get for this show, Laura the Illuminator Loomer. Okay? Where do you see all the pinheads at Facebook and see all their hats flying off there? I wonder if we'll still be on the air when that happens. They've cut me off before when I had Laura Loomer on.
Yep.
And then, special treat, she wasn't going to come on the show until the last minute. I expanded the show just for this person. It's the fiery Latina from Miami who's going to tell us where the Latino vote is going, just like Trump did yesterday. And she's going to be on at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock. So we're going to expand it by about 15 minutes, and I still made plenty of time for people to call in between. All right, I think right now I want to get this out. I want you to understand what the Republicans are facing. So I want to play Pelosi, and she'll tell you what they are all about, these Democrats. Please. This is Nancy Pelosi.
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
This is Nancy Pelosi. All right, that's Nancy Pelosi, and it's tough to get horses in this office. Now we got to get them back. We rent them out for like $100 each, And then we have to take them back because they won't do. One of them won't do the whole thing.
I know.
It's in his union contract.
And we couldn't even find a cat either to do the cat hiss.
No.
So we're just,
No, the cat, I was going to do another cat, and I had to imitate the cat. I did a better cat than the cats do. Do that
I think
again.
so. I think
Just
you're
do
right.
that one more time. I love that. It's for you, honey. Okay, until I do the hiss part, can you tell that's not a cat?
At the first part, no. I don't think so.
Come on.
It sounds like your tail's being pulled right off of you.
Okay, well, could you imagine a tail being pulled and a cat doing that?
Oh, Lordy.
Okay, I think that's good stuff. I had no idea I could do this kind of stuff. Pretend to be a Sicilian, pretend to be anything
jury's
else.
out on the cat yet, so
No,
we can take a poll
All right,
on
what do you
Facebook.
think? What do you think the cat? Call the show 573-578-2700,
Or put on Facebook and vote. Does that sound like a cat or not?
Well,
we can have fun
we
with
really
this
don't want to have a show on cats right now, but because this is the election, it's serious stuff. But we got to have a little fun, for goodness sake. And I think we're going to have it. And I think right now what we do is we play Rabbi Moshe Rothchild.
Yeah, 1 second, Dave. You were talking to another rabbi? Sounds like you're cheating on me.
No, actually, I'm cheating with you on him because he was the first rabbi. Listen to this. I got rabbis fighting over me. This is kind of weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, second most powerful in Israel in his own home, according to his wife Yonita, used to travel the world, aligning Christians, blacks, Muslims, and Jews. But now he stays at home and bakes bread. Official rabbi to Missouri in the Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome Rabbi Moshe Rothchild. There you go. And you are calling me from where?
I am from Efrat, Israel, just south of Bethlehem, just south of Jerusalem.
Okay, it took you a while to figure that out. Are you dislocated because of the change in the time? Because this is being taped.
The clock's a little confused.
A little confused. Okay, well, that's understandable.
And you also usually, in your intro, tell people where I'm calling from. So I was a little thrown
I was
off
going
by
to do that, but I forgot. So I guess we're both at blame here. Hey, Trump, 10 Arab states to sign the Abraham Accords? Who the hell are the other ones?
Yeah, that's what he said this week, and then he said 5 to 10. But I don't think he's wrong. They're talking now also a lot this week about Saudi Arabia. We know Sudan this week. Signed. We're looking at maybe Qatar, Morocco, Lebanon, even, I guess.
Well, who the hell thought of that one? Pray tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here, you thought of it.
That's right.
We'll give you credit.
Following your example as a prophet, that wasn't prophet. That was putting a couple of incidents together. That's what that was. And it wasn't like I had an epiphany. I mean, I had an idea, and a window of opportunity won't open itself. Did you know that? Anyways, Biden is counting on the Jewish vote. Do you believe that? Biden is counting on the Jewish vote, and that's especially in Florida. Laura Loomer's opponent for Congress is counting on Jews too. I hope that doesn't happen. What do you think?
Well, sadly, the polls have Biden getting just about 70% of the Jewish vote. Yeah. But Florida is a very important state, obviously, swing state, and there are, outside of New York and LA, it's the biggest Jewish population in the United States. I think there's about 800,000 Jews in Florida. The Orthodox Jews, which is probably about 10%, will vote for Trump by and large. So the question is, where are the other ones going to vote? But I'm pretty hopeful that Trump's going to take Florida. Rasmussen has him ahead there.
Yeah, I am too. And even if he gets the same amount of the Jewish vote as he got last time, and he's going to get some more, I think. You've got the Latino vote, where I think he's skyrocketing, and you've got the black vote, where he's going to maybe double or triple what he got the first time. And I'm talking about Florida. And I think he's got it. And I think they stopped spending money in Florida.
I was going to say the Latinos like him because of his stance on illegal immigration.
Yeah, but so many other things too. I mean, there's the employment issue. He got the lowest unemployment, or he got the lowest unemployment record for Latinos, and he broke it a couple times. A lot of Latinos in small businesses. The Supreme Court. I went over this with Liz Cabrera, who is right in the middle of Miami and a leader in that community. I'm going to have her on the show later. She corroborates everything she said. The Supreme Court, very important. Religion, abortion, they're all up on that. And I don't think the Democrats understand that, quite frankly. I think that's going to really save the state for Trump. I don't think you can count on the Jewish vote there. I hate to say that.
Generally speaking, the Democrats get the Jewish vote. I mean, sadly, but that's the truth.
Hey, the UN seems to be in the tank for Palestinians, and they still attack Israel, despite the Abraham Accords, surpassing double-digit Arab countries. They're just not going to quit, are they?
I missed the first one.
The UN is still in the tank for the Palestinians, and they're still saying nasty things about Israel.
Yeah, you know what it is? They're just stuck in this old model, and they just can't get past that. And the fact that the world is changing, the Middle East has changed, and so many Arab nations supporting Israel, and they're just stuck in this old rhetoric, and this it's just not true anymore, and not in touch with what's happening on the ground. And there's such an opportunity for peace. If the UN would actually get on board, and the European Union and everyone just get on board, this is the right path. They've been on the wrong path for decades. And it's such a missed opportunity.
You're right. And can't they see that it's working? I mean, are they blind? I mean, what is it? Is it just anti-Semitism has blinded them?
No, they see it's working. That's exactly what they're afraid of.
Well, then why?
They want peace.
The UN does not want peace, is what you're saying.
No, they because their hatred for Israel runs so deep.
Yeah,
they're not interested in that.
Well, that's what I said.
When it can change, it can change when Israel signs enough agreements with Arab countries that the UN will actually turn, because they're going to get the support of enough countries, especially Arab ones.
Right.
But right now, they haven't hit that critical mass.
Well, that's why I use the word
3 or 4 countries voting with Israel. No, they'll get more.
That's why I use the word anti-Semitism, because that's what it is.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You're 100% right.
So the U.S. is now selling bunker buster bombs to Israel. Now, what could they use that for? Let's see. Tunnels, arsenals. How about the Iran underground nuclear site that has just been discovered?
Exactly. I mean, that's until no U.S. president has ever agreed to sell bunker buster bombs to Israel. But surprisingly, this is actually a bipartisan effort, both the Democrats and the Republicans in Congress, and they put forth a bill to sell Israel the bunker busters, because they see that if Iran goes nuclear, it's not only going to be bad for Israel, it's going to be bad for the world, because they're a rogue state. And if they have nuclear weapons, they can sell them. They can sell them to enemies of the United States that can reach the United States. So it's not only in the interest of Israel, it's in the interest of the United States selling bunker busters to Israel.
Sure. Hey, Jews in Philadelphia, they go to a Black Lives Matter protest because of the killing of a black person, Walter Wallace, who was mentally ill. The family had called the cops 100 times or more, and 3 times on Monday. And on Tuesday, they go out there, and this guy comes out wielding a knife and going towards the cops, wouldn't drop the knife, and they shot him, and they killed him. And so now they've the Black Lives Matter. They are rioting and they're looting and things like that. A couple of Jews go and said, hey, we're here to show solidarity.
We'll support you.
Yeah, they said go back to your synagogue and pray to Satan and all sorts of nasty. Get the F out of there and all that crap. Black Lives Matter. Let me go and renew my Cardinal tickets in Major League Baseball so that I can go to downtown St. Louis and go to ball games with Black Lives Matter. Give me a break. It's unconscionable what they're allowed to get away with.
Yeah. So I was saying that I think there's a Hebrew word called a friar, that we're just suckers. We try to, we want to help everybody, but then we turn around and get stabbed in the back, And the Black Lives Matter, we've said it here many times, it is an anti-Semitic movement. That's part of their charter, is anti-Israel. They're against Jews, and we think that everyone's going to sing Kumbaya, but it's not so simple. It's a very complicated thing, but we become suckers.
Well, we don't need to be supporting Major League Baseball or the NBA. The NBA's going to cut back on them, though, next year because they lost a lot of money.
Yeah, because they saw their numbers dwindle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Money. They follow the money.
Yeah, well, they're going to lose my Cardinal tickets. They've already lost some of them. And, I like those Cardinal tickets. I used to use them as a business, give them away to people and stuff like that, or raffle them off at charities and stuff. So they were good things to have. Anyhow,
Sports should be sports, but they turned it political.
Yeah, they did, and they're paying the price. Neo-Nazis celebrate the mass murder of 11 Jews and the injury of 7 in Pittsburgh at a Memory Institute, MEMRY Institute. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, there was also this week, I think there was a poll that said 80% of American Jews are afraid of this, tremendous rise in anti-Semitism. And in case your listeners don't know, in Pittsburgh there was a shooter came in on the Sabbath during the services, killed a lot of people, 11 people, I think, something like that.
Yeah, he killed 11 and injured 7, wounded 7.
7, and on the anniversary, they have neo-Nazis marching. Right. This happened. In Skokie, Dave, I don't know if you remember that, in 1980, I think it was, and neo-Nazis marched in Skokie through a Jewish neighborhood
Did you know I grew up in Skokie?
Yeah. So, look, this is, the fact that that World War II is over doesn't mean that hatred ended. And I see it on my Facebook page, the things people post, and it's out there. It's out there.
Yep.
And it's scary.
Hey, other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and contribute to you?
They can go to my website, IsraelAlliance.org, IsraelAlliance.org. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, Rabbi, I got hit in the head with a roll of quarters. Who says change doesn't hurt? Who says change doesn't hurt? Ouch. Okay, Rabbi.
I was going to guess that one. I was about to say, that inspired you to change.
Yeah, there you go. All right, yes, you're always trying to steal my stuff. You know what? I wrote this. I wrote this in like 2002, 2003. Okay, I got it from one of my old calendars. I'm finding my old calendars. I've lost some, over the years. So, anyways, Rabbi, thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. Hi to Yonit and the kids, all right? And keep making the challah bread.
You got it.
All right, pal.
Okay, I'm on it.
Bye-bye.
Okay, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. This is as my wife looks at me askance. Like, why did you do that? Oh.
I'm sorry, who found those calendars? Bad putty thing.
Hi there, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. I bet you this is not... Who's that, Chester? No, it's...
Yes, it's Chester again.
Okay,
just letting you know, as soon as you guys started talking about Black Lives Matter in Philly, and you went off again.
Yeah.
Facebook is buffering you out.
Have a good day. That's what we're figuring. You know.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Facebook, you suck. You jerks, and I'm a stockholder, too. It's abhorrent what you're doing. My God. I mentioned Black Lives Matter, and that somehow you don't realize Zuckerberg, as a Jew, that they hate you? God, you're a dumbass. Anyways, so they knocked my show off, didn't they?
It keeps pausing every once in a while, like it stalls out for a few seconds.
That's what they do. All right, you got.
Hello.
Hi there. Oh, hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Whatever your name is, Lee or Randy or whatever.
Lee. Yes, Lee.
Yes. So what can I do for you today, Lee?
Well, I've got really, I think, a kind of important message that I'm not good on the internet or anything. I'm hoping somebody get the word out. One of these things with a lot of these churches and stuff are afraid to speak out on political stuff because they're afraid they're going to lose their tax contribution write-off, I think, if I'm understanding it right. The donations I give to the church, whether they get it write-off or not, that's not going to be a deal. But for those that's concerned, the thing is that if these Democrats get full control, there ain't going to be no more write-offs, period.
Well, they're going to do all sorts of things. They're going to double the capital gains tax when you sell your stock. Now it's like 20. Now they're going to go like 44% or something like that is what they're talking about. That's a huge tax amongst people. They're going to raise your gas prices. They eliminate gas. They eliminate fuel, natural gas. The prices are going to go way up. They're going to go $6-7 a gallon. While they're tampering with other stuff like electric cars and things like that.
With bird choppers. And another thing is, how much do they understand when everybody goes home and plugs their chargers in? These electric systems ain't going to be able to handle all that.
Well, that's another thing they're not considering.
I think they're going to have to put a lot larger wires, have more power plants that burn fossil fuels.
What's that going to do to your electric charges at home?
Yeah, I mean, the home's going to have to be rewired for it.
These people are idiots. They're idiots. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
I have one other point, and I do because I'm in a situation right now. We had to put had our little cat put to sleep last night. I had to go back and pick him up at the vet. But the one thing that I want to mention too is I was listening to the news. I think it was Wednesday morning, and they was speaking of a policeman that tried to use a taser on a suspect.
Yeah.
And the taser failed.
Yeah.
And then the man pulls out a gun and shoots back. Now here's what I'm saying is, they need to get rid of them tasers. I know Sean Hannity's pushing for all that stuff, but them tasers that taser could have got that policeman killed.
Exactly. And when a guy chases you with a knife, I mean, you're not out there to kill people. But when he's attacking you with a knife like this Wallace guy, Walter Wallace did in Philadelphia, even his lawyer is saying they did it by the rules. The cops did it by the rules. Well, and meanwhile, they're ripping down the whole city. And this is Black Lives Matter. Hey, Facebook, it's Black Lives Matter that are doing it. All right? Wow.
No policeman should have to take any injury.
Unbelievable. I got to get on Parler. That's all there is to it. I got to get on there and say, screw Facebook. It's amazing.
I have a bad connection on my phone here, so I accidentally talking over you.
No, that's okay. No problem. All right, my friend. What else you got? Real quick.
Well, I need to go, and I've got things to do, but I just wanted to get that point out and have a good day.
Yeah, hi to Pam. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, my friend.
She's listening to you at home. I can't hear you where I'm at.
Hi, Pam. I'm waving. I'm using all my fingers, too. All right, thanks. Take care, pal. All right, so back here, I got a notice from our office person. She's office like manager, assistant. I don't know what the hell she is. Anyways, I've known her for a while because she's part of the family, and that's Summer. And she said somebody on Facebook, a Facebook post said, Joe Biden said the things I did while in elected office should not be made public while I am seeking public office. Now, this went under a fact check. Ooh,
yeah, and here, Facebook just stalled again, so you might want to say that quote again so they can hear the whole thing.
Yeah. It came back again?
Yeah, it's back again all of a sudden.
So should I say whatever it is? I'm afraid to say it.
No, just do the whole
That's
quote.
What they do.
I'm trying this out here. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Anyways, so Biden says the things I did while in elected office should not be made public while I am seeking a public office. Now, this is rated a half-true thing. Did it go down again?
It just stalled again.
Did it
now
stall
it's back
again?
up.
Oh, my God. Jeez. What do you got? You got a mouse running the treadmill there at Facebook?
No, but we had another person on Facebook just say every time you talk about BLM or Biden, you fade out.
How about
figure?
Isn't that interesting? It's like CNN during a Trump rally. He says something about Biden or something like that, and they click off the lights. They're all unified in this. Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, now it's stalled out for a little while here, and we're back on again.
There we go. Why do you need me? Let's just end the relationship because, you guys try to sell me advertising. You think I'd ever buy any advertising from you jerks? Really? Do you really think that? I mean, it's incredible.
Oh, we just went off again.
Why don't you call me? Hey, why don't you call me? Have a little talk with me. Zuckerberg, 573-578-2700. Why don't you tell me why you're doing this to me? Okay? Tell me what's wrong with my show. I want to hear. Why don't you run your own damn show and have your own damn ideas and do it that way?
Maybe we ought to look to see if we can put the show on Parler then.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, that's where it's headed. That's where I talked about it this morning. I don't like the BS. My wife is here working so hard on getting it on Facebook, and she can just easily do that on Parler.
Yeah, and now my mom just commented on there and said that it's really been cutting out, the last few minutes. So
yeah, all right.
Figure.
Well, we're dealing with frauds. We're dealing with frauds, and we're dealing with communists. Ooh, did I say the word communist?
Yeah, and here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with our software that we use to go through Facebook, so it's definitely not a software issue or not a technical issue. That's for sure.
All right, anyways, this story about Biden, where he says, allegedly, the things I did while in elected office should not be made public while I am seeking higher office, was dealt as half true by a gal by the name of Samantha Putterman. All right, and they first talk about him and this Tara Reid, who accused him of a sexual complaint. And he says the University of Delaware doesn't contain personnel records that would shed light on the allegation. And he also said the documents comprise policy positions and other official actions that could be taken out of context and used to hurt his presidential campaign. Well, sort of, kind of true, isn't it? The things I did while in elected office should not be made public while I am seeking a higher public office. Well, that sounds true, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where am I wrong here, Facebook?
And here again, our feed is cut out again. So
yeah,
if you can go over to the website,
now
definitely
the communists
do that.
have shut me down again. And when Joe Biden gets elected, folks, if he does, we'll all be speaking Chinese here pretty soon. So you better learn your Mandarin or whatever it is they speak there. And, this is America, ladies and gentlemen, and we got one of the most American patriots coming up. We got a couple of them. Laura Loomer.
Yep, should be on any second.
And, no, it's Cheryl Chumley is coming in
right
now. And then we got Laura Loomer or Elad Hakim, and then Laura Loomer, and then Liz Cabrera. Golly, what happened to America?
I wonder, do we have time here before she jumps on to play this this clip talking about the higher approval ratings for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go and do that.
Go.
Yeah, we've done over 15 states in just the last couple weeks, from Florida to Arizona to Ohio, Texas, Georgia, battleground states across the country. And the enthusiasm for President Trump is at record highs. And look, there's one thing that I'm hearing from a lot of people, though. It is evident that the Democrats are outspending President Trump and Republicans. But it's also clear that we are outworking the Democrats. We are knocking on more doors. We are making more phone calls. The president is doing more rallies. This will be a question, in my opinion, the next 10 days. Can you purchase an election with the help of the billionaire class, like Joe Biden is with his help of his friend Mike Bloomberg and the tech elites? Or can President Donald Trump win the election again with the true sovereign in this country, we the people? I am seeing enthusiasm and energy unlike anything I've ever seen, including in 2016.
Cheryl, sorry about that. We're going to play your song, and then I'm going to talk to you, because we got a lot to talk about. But you got to sing.
My friends, we'll keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions.
We are the champions. Second verse. No, that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington Times online editor, speaker, author, Novak journalism fellow, and media goddess to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome, all the way from Virginia, Cheryl Chumley. Hi, Cheryl.
How's it going?
I'm good.
How are you?
I was up very late last night, and I hardly slept because this is the final countdown. I'm nervous about it. I woke up at like 3, and stayed woke. And I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? Are you okay? You're not nervous at all?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I definitely want Donald Trump to win, and I definitely have concerns that the Democrats are going to turn Election Day into election week or election month, and try and keep counting votes until they get the tally that they want. And, if you look at that long term, that's just going to undercut our entire electoral system. So I have concerns about that. But honestly, I just think that Donald Trump is on a steady path to re-election. I really do. I think his law and order message is just resonating with the moderates, with the independents. I think the lame press tries to put forth that Joe Biden's got these phenomenal double-digit leads in certain states, which I can't even think about that without even laughing. But that's how it goes. And the American people, just every election, the American people seems to me to becoming more and more aware of the deceptions that the left tries to do to win.
Now, you have this podcast where you labeled it, and I was listening to this last night too. It kind of depressed me, actually. What do you mean by socialists don't sleep?
That's actually the title of my new book. Socialists don't sleep. Christians must rise, or America will fall. It just came out a couple weeks ago, and I just make the case. I point out to readers that, hey, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with the card-carrying open socialism, she didn't spring up overnight. The socialism had been seeping in America's politics and culture for decades. The problem is we aren't in tune to recognize it when it comes. And you know what? Even Republicans are not innocent on this point. I have a chapter in my book dedicated just to Republicans. But what the book does is I educate readers on how to recognize the seeds of socialism before they dig deep in the soil and sprout and spread. And then instead of just one or two Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we have a whole country full.
Yeah, amazing. And well, of course, she's brilliant, as you know. So we're okay there, aren't we? I mean, she's just amazing.
Yeah,
what an amazing brain. Anyways, Bernie Sanders, Biden's labor secretary, Liz Warren, Secretary of the Treasury. Are we going to recruit any Chinese Communist Party people? How soon before we start talking Chinese in this country?
Why?
If
we won't have
elected.
to.
Seriously.
But, I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris at the helm and the cabinet that they will instill, why? We will be communist in all but name, which is actually another point I make in my book, that so much socialism has seeped in all but name. So this is an important election. I know every election is important, and every White House election is historic, and we're all tired of hearing that same message every time a presidential election rolls around. But this one is crucial because it's a crossroads here in America. And we have already seen how Donald Trump in his last 3.5 years has outed the deep state. I mean, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
He brought these cockroaches out of their dark corners, and they're furious because now they have to do their backroom dealings in public, and they're beaten by Donald Trump at every turn. So they're ready. They're ready to dramatically change America and reshape this nation so they can make up for the 3.5 years, 4 years they lost under Donald Trump.
He shocked them out of their rat holes, didn't he? And I don't even think he knew what he was getting into. I don't think he realized how deep this was. Who did? Did you know? I didn't know.
Well, how could you really? I mean, of course, as a thinking American, you have to be aware that there are nefarious players behind the scenes always trying to undercut America. But I think Donald Trump gave us a glimpse of the inside nefarious players, the inside bad actors, some of whom that we never would have guessed. I mean, for the longest time, there were those Americans who did not believe that the FBI could be political. Seriously.
Right.
Even with, and the CIA, forget it. The intelligence communities, they were untouchables. And I think Donald Trump has just blasted light on that. And the truth is out there. The only people who can deny now are those who just simply want to be blind to the truth.
You know, changing subjects here, Bill Gates slams Dr. Scott Atlas, who is an MD. He's got degrees in biology. He's the chief of neurocardiology at Stanford University, University Medical Center. Where did Bill Gates become an expert and degreed medical doctor?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not. That's right.
No,
he was a Microsoft dude.
That's impossible. Did he finish college?
Yeah, didn't he drop out? Oh, yeah, he did. That's right. Now, I'm not one of these leftist snobs, right, that think in order to have an opinion on something, you must have a degree in it. And the higher your degree goes, then the smarter you are, and we're all supposed to bow down and worship you. I'm not like that. But I do think that those people who have degrees, to deny the fact that they have degrees and call them fake, is a little bit much. I mean, I don't have a degree in medicine. I don't have a degree in biology. But I will criticize Dr. Anthony Fauci, even though he has a degree. But I'm not going to call him fake. Yeah. I mean, obviously, he has a degree. He did the work. And so for Bill Gates to come out and call Scott Atlas basically a fake scientist, a fake medical guy, when it's Bill Gates who doesn't have the degree in that field, but Scott Atlas does, that just is a little bit, I don't know, it's an outrage.
Well, a billionaire sort of awards you these degrees by suggestion. In other words, if you're a billionaire, you get to say you're a doctor. You don't have to have an education because you're a billionaire. You know, sort of like does that. I don't know how. That's crazy.
Actors are good at that, too. They play a part, so then they become the part,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, what's his name? The guy that plays, he was in The Godfather. He was De Niro. He's a tough guy.
That's right.
He's a tough guy. Wow. Any predictions again for the Senate and the House, as well as now you say Trump is going to do it, and we've been talking about that. And I ran some. I listened to Jesse Waters a lot, and this was even last weekend where he was using some guys' predictions who predicted the last election, Talfador or something like that, and he's got some ratings that pretty well, they show it to be even pretty much. Now, you think it's, but that was last weekend. I think Trump has made progress this week. Do you not?
Yeah, I think it's Trump. I think the Senate and House are going to stay the same. I think the Senate is going to be held by Republicans. In the House, we're going to see Nancy Pelosi once again.
Oh, my God.
As God forbid, but I think Trump is going to win again. The only caveat I put on that is the election legal battles. You know, there's a lot that can be done. The longer the election day drags out, the more uncertainty, that will come, and that's where I see problems. Maybe.
And speaking of that, with these legal battles coming up, possibly including the Supreme Court, they're already trying to impeach newly appointed SCOTUS Judge Amy Coney Barrett. So what do you think is going to happen with that? I mean,
yeah, that's just stupid.
It's stupid, isn't it?
That's just another show of Democrats overreaching.
Yeah.
You know, Democrats would have more successes in their column, more wins if they didn't constantly go too far. You know, if you want to protest Donald Trump as a president, fine, but sending people out in the streets to throw bricks through storefront windows, that's above and beyond. And that's where they start losing. And it's the same with the Supreme Court. You know, she just got seated, and now you want to impeach her?
Yeah.
Didn't we already go through this with Donald Trump before he was even inaugurated? We had Maxine Waters calling for his impeachment. I mean, you got to do something impeachable, offense-worthy before you can be impeached.
And the one thing about the investigation into Biden is that they had Hunter's laptop, which would have exonerated Trump and implicated Biden. They had the FBI had it a year ago, and they've had a criminal investigation going on. So why didn't they let anyone know while Trump and this country was focused on impeachment during the beginning of the pandemic?
Yeah, that's more revelations of the deep state at work, right? I mean, you know, it's like you out one bad actor and then 5 more are busily behind the scenes that pick up the reins of the outed one. I mean, it's just, it seems nonstop.
Yeah, it's incredible how deep this goes. And then you got to wonder how many Republicans have some problems out there with outside foreign countries contributing to them. You know, you have to wonder.
When you look at the difficulties of slapping back big tech, I mean, how many times do we have to have Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all that go before Congress, only to be chided and scolded by Republicans and threatened, only to have nothing happen?
Yeah, by the way, speaking of Facebook, are we on?
Yeah, we're still on, but we actually had to start a new feed because eventually our feed just cut out and I could not get it to restart.
Yeah, Facebook has
so I had to start a whole new feed.
With me every week I do this.
So we lost everything.
Huh?
We lost it all again.
We lost it right now?
Well, Cheryl,
or is it back?
Cheryl is good. She's
earlier.
Well, only when you came on because you're so unopinionated, I guess. You know.
No, she doesn't get banned from LinkedIn or anything.
No, you got banned. You sure did. You know.
And here's the latest: Amazon isn't letting people post opinions on my book. They're not letting people post reviews.
No,
I've heard from a couple people already that can't get their reviews posted.
All right, we gotta do a revolution.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah.
we're done. I'm done, Cheryl. We gotta start something here. Okay. So, I mean, they already started. We didn't start it. I didn't start it. You didn't start it.
I think we're going to finish it here.
No, I think so.
Go Billy Joel. We didn't start that fight.
Right, other than Dave, we didn't start this fight, but we're going to finish it. You going to sing?
No, but I'll listen to you sing.
No. Please don't invite that.
Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find you and where can people find your book? And tell us what the name of the book is, too, again.
Go ahead. You can find me, of course, at Washington Times, on CherylChumley.com, and you can find my book anywhere. CherylChumley.com, of course, Amazon, but they even have it in Target, Barnes & Noble.
Wow.
But the problem is, though, if you want to review it on Amazon, Amazon is not letting people review my book.
Incredible.
So contact me if you have issues. I'm going to report this and fight it.
Well, good for you. All right, good for you. And then, you know what? But then you got the Laura Loomer problem. You're going to be considered to be too conservative. You see? and then nobody wants you. But you'll always be welcome on this show. You know that, right?
Well, that's all that matters to me, Dave.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, tell that to Charlie. Okay. Hey, if you don't like it, I can go on Weinbaum show anytime. All right.
That's right.
It's true. Hey, did you hear about the crustacean tennis player?
No.
Yeah, he was a lobster. He was a lobster.
That one's going to be hard to force.
Oh, come on. Well, it was meant to be. It was a groaner, and it worked, so I'm fine.
All right.
I don't mind getting crickets once in a while,
Everybody loves the crickets. We get
Everybody
comments
loves
every
the crickets, That's part of the deal. Hey, thank you so much, Cheryl. You're a great friend, and you're just a terrific media goddess to the Dave Weinbaum Show, and you're very popular. I realize that, and I hope your book sales go through the roof.
Well, thank you, and I do hope we are all waking up Wednesday morning with a second Trump presidency.
Boy, I hope so. Which Wednesday, though? It'll be January Wednesday or July or something?
Yeah. I'll wait. As long as it lands in the right corner,
That's right.
I'll wait.
Yeah,
so.
all right, thanks a lot.
Thank
you have a
you,
great
guys.
weekend, Cheryl. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right, so are we back on or what?
Yeah, we're back on, but here's the deal.
What?
I'm sure it'll cut out again, so if people are tired of it, just go ahead and jump over to speaker, go off the website, because we're getting reports it's coming in loud and clear without any stoppage. So.
What's that, the website?
Yeah.
That's daveweinbaum.net.
Exactly.
In fact, go there anyways. You'll hear the thing. It'll be great sound. And, I don't need Facebook. I mean, I'll figure out a way to get out there without Facebook. It's just too bad.
We've had it before where, and again, it just did it again, where it'll temporarily.
Yeah, you don't
back.
like people criticizing Facebook. My God!
But this time, literally, the video stopped,
right,
and they would not give me the option to restart.
Yeah, exactly.
So all the shares I get are all gone.
Yeah, all the shares.
However, did you notice
that
we have your mascot in the studio today?
Oh, yes, it's the Trump Bear.
It's Trumpy Bear.
Yeah.
That's right.
How did I get so lucky with that?
Well, it's a very special show, so we want to make sure that he's here for moral support.
Until you turned him around, I didn't recognize him because it's a little teddy bear. It's about 8 inches long.
His picture's on your show page already.
Oh, it is? Okay, right.
And,
and he's got, Trump hair.
He's a
Trump hair.
Trumpy Bear.
A Trumpy Bear. Okay.
Trumpy Bears.
Instead of a teddy
Trumpy
bear.
We have another animal, too, that's all for Trump and all that. So
what's that?
One of our bits.
Okay, well, let's do it. No. Because we got.
We will do what has never been done: scan the household pet's mind to translate his thoughts into words. Now, the subject today will be my own dog, Max. Max, speak.
Woof, woof. Hi, I'm Max. It's me, Max. I like Park and Leash, and I like Trump. He's my man. Donald Trump is our president. He carried the Electoral College fair and square.
This can't be right. Did you know your dog likes Trump?
He doesn't.
I absolutely do. I know Trump has issues, but one big change is better than business as usual. The Dow is up 2,700 points since he was elected. What's not to like?
I'm sorry, but you're just a dog. You don't know what you're talking about.
Excuse me, Helen, but yes, I do. Stinking helmet. I can't believe you put this on me.
I can't believe you're saying this. You're supposed to be my best friend.
And as your friend, I don't want to see your tax dollars going to health care for illegals.
Explode. What about his record on women's rights? Don't you want me to have a choice over my own body?
You didn't afford me a choice when you cut off my balls.
All right, that's all. That's funny. I would think that if we talk about something about cutting off balls, I think Facebook would have loved that.
You would think.
You would think, right? They're trying to cut my balls off, that's for sure, and you ain't going to do it.
At least the show balls off, that's for sure.
My God. It's not, you don't realize it until it's happening to you. I realize it because, I'm a little outspoken, just a little, and very tiny. But
we appreciate everybody who has helped us by sharing the show once we came back up. Pastor Pat has, Jane, JL, several people have shared for us. So thank you, and please continue sharing.
Yeah. And it's,
unite and fight, baby.
It's a shame, but, I'm not going to give up. See, that makes me pissed off.
Yeah.
And when I'm pissed off, I fight back. So I think I know who this is, but we'll figure it out anyways. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave. It's Elad calling.
All right, Elad. We're going to play your song. Powerhouse South Florida lawyer, expert on law and politics, writes for the Washington Examiner, the Federalist, Daily Caller, and like Donald Trump, he is the Perry Mason to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome Elad Hakeem. Did you hear my opening? You didn't listen, did you?
No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, well, Trump. Last week I compared last week's show in the morning. I compared Trump to Perry Mason with what he did to Biden. He sort of got Biden to confess, getting rid of the oil industry, and confess to stopping fracking and things like that. And so I called him the Perry Mason. There, that he got this guy out. That afternoon, Trump is in, I believe, Pennsylvania, and he says, during the debate last night, I think I was like Perry Mason. I got him to confess.
He pulled a Perry Mason.
Now, where do you think he got that from?
No doubt about it.
Did you call him?
No doubt about it. He must have heard you say it.
Seriously,
listen, that's great. That's great publicity too.
He said it yesterday too. He said it a bunch of times. It's part of his mantra now. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't listening to it, somebody else did, because you are the Perry Mason to the Dave Weinbaum Show. How about that? Bob Belinsky, he turned over docs to the Senate. The FBI has confiscated Belinsky's 3 phones. Is there any effect that you're detecting for the election here?
It's really hard to tell. Interestingly, it might be because on Twitter there was "How do I change my vote?" What was trending. Yeah. So that tends to make you think that after the release of some of this stuff, people were at least second guessing. Although I'll tell you something, I don't think that the election is going to be close. I think Trump is going to win, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Right.
So it might have an impact.
But why? I want to know why you think that. Why do you think that? You're in Florida, and that's a big swing state. And some people have it even. Some people have Trump up a little bit. Some have Biden up a little bit. What tells you that this, in Florida at least, is going to go well?
Well, sadly, as you know, the Jewish vote is very much in favor of Biden in Florida.
Is there any?
However,
is there any drippage from that?
Emails and messages, and first of all, the ground game is very, very strong in Florida for Trump. Also, the Democrats are not to the point where they need to be in Florida as far as the turnout and the number of voters. For example, Miami-Dade, I think that Republicans are ahead, and Democrats are not having the numbers that they need. I think the number of black voters, the Hispanic voters, just not getting the turnout. I think they're below where they were, and Republicans are ahead of them now. And there's some real concern on the behalf of Democrats in Florida. I think that I just saw an article also in Michigan. There's big concern in Michigan, and even Minnesota's in play.
Yeah.
Minnesota hasn't been won by a Republican in ages.
Yeah.
So, I think that people are recognizing that even if they don't like Trump, they are just not willing. It's too dangerous to vote the other direction.
Yeah, he's a who's a worse candidate, Hillary or Biden? I mean, really, it's a toss-up to me.
Well, you know what? It's not Biden. It's not Hillary or Biden. It's Hillary or Kamala and the far left. Because Biden is just really a shell. You know, at first I was kind of wondering, okay, is he really a shell? But he really is. He's frail. He can't remember anything. He doesn't have the stamina, and he's really just a puppet.
He's Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, he's like a dead guy, and they're moving they're moving him around, and they're feeding him debate questions and all this stuff. And then every once in a while, he can't help himself to blurt out stupid stuff.
Correct. It's in a way it's sad, and if he wasn't such a like Trump says, I'm not a nice guy, a mean person, you could actually sympathize with him. But he's apparently so, from what's come out, so corrupt that it's very hard to sympathize with him.
You know,
and his running mate is no better.
Yeah, in
his left than Bernie is.
In his crime family, you know what he's known as? Joe Two Masks Biden. He wears 2 masks now. If he puts another mask on, it's over. He's dead. You know, he won't be able to breathe at all. Anyways, what do you think about the House and Senate now?
I think that the Senate will be close. I think the Senate will be really close, and although I think that the Republicans will hold it, and I think the House will stay Democrat.
Yeah, you and Cheryl Chumley. I'm more or less, I don't know really, but there's only 18 seats the Republicans have to gain in the House, and that's not a lot.
Yeah, I don't know all the specific races. Just my inclination is that Democrats retain the House and Republicans narrowly retain the Senate, and that better be the way it is. Because think about it, if Trump, let's say Trump wins, if it stays the way it is, then we'll pretty much be where we are. But if they take control of Congress, he's not going to get any judges through. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Right. And if they, God forbid, take a supermajority, which is not going to happen, it's very unlikely, they're going to impeach him, and they may have the votes to remove him. So, it's very important. People are keeping their focus on the presidency, but obviously the House and Senate are vital also.
Well, if he gets all 3, he's obviously not going to get a supermajority in the Senate. But if he gets if he wins all 3, it could be the most amazing presidency in the history of the world. I thought doing what he did with the last, all the times he was hampered and impeached and this and that and accused of stuff, I thought that was horrible. And look at all he accomplished during that. Look at the Abraham Accords. Did you ever hear anybody talking about that on the mainstream media?
Dave, the mainstream media, it is to the point where, in my head, I think to myself, it's too bad we just can't get rid of some of the media, because it is just so incredibly biased now that, and they're not even trying to hide it. So yeah, to answer your question, if they take all 3, wow, I just shudder to think of what's going to happen in the country. Exactly. If they take all 3.
And
I shudder to think what will happen if Trump wins.
And Facebook today, my show's on Facebook, right? They've been cutting me off and on all day. If I mention Black Lives Matter, they'll knock me off. They're probably going to knock me off right now.
Yeah, or Biden. So we had to actually create a whole new feed because the first one got stopped and I couldn't restart it.
I mean, they've been doing this to me for a lot of shows. We thought maybe it was technical difficulties at one point, but no, they're trying to censor me. And I'm pissed.
Well, they need to do something with that, with the law and with the protection.
I'm thinking about getting a lawyer. I'm thinking about getting a lawyer. Do you know any good ones?
Nah, the ones I know are pretty poor. No, but all kidding aside, they've got to do something because and they got their tails handed to them when they were questioned. Yeah. They didn't quite have an answer to some of these questions because there's really no answer. It's clear that they're censoring conservative, pro-Trump people, and they extended it now to media sources. Look what they did to you. Look what they did to the Post. Look what they did to.
So they don't care. They don't care about
the president.
They don't care about it.
People.
They're not admitting it, and they say, "Well, we make mistakes sometimes." And all. This is no mistake. It's back and forth every time I mention Biden or Black Lives Matter. They're cutting me off. I mean, it's pure utter censorship. It's communism. And I resent it, and if there's a way to find to attack, I will. And I'm a shareholder in Facebook. Made a lot of money there, and these guys are still doing it to me. Screw that, Anyways,
absolutely, just terrible, absolutely terrible. And by the way, they asked during the questioning. I think one of the senators asked Dorsey, "Can you point to one Democrat or one liberal outlet or paper or whatever that you censored?" And he couldn't remember.
Then he says, "Have you ever stopped the Ayatollah from any of his preachings, any of his anti-Semitic?" No, well, no. Oh, gee, they're a disaster.
They don't try to hide anymore, and it's very frightening.
Yeah.
And if Biden wins, I was thinking about all of those of us who write and those of us who, like you, who have shows. What are we going to do? Because it's going to be like the police.
We're going to figure out a way to fight back. That's what we're going to do. We can't let that happen.
We'll migrate to Parler.
Yeah. We'll migrate to Parler, but they're going to control that too. So
they're going to control Parler.
Huh?
They're just going to control Parler.
Right, exactly. That's
what
I
the
just
fear.
Said. Yeah.
Is that and Mark Levin spoke briefly about it last night on Hannity, and he's going to speak on Saturday about it.
Yeah.
It's really, really serious, and I think I pray that Americans are realizing just what is going on, and I think they are. And the big thing is, Dave, the black vote, the black and Latino vote. Yes. They're saying that blacks can code 20 to 30% for Trump.
That's incredible. That's over.
Enormous.
See, that's over. If that's countrywide like that, that's over.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's enormous.
That's enormous.
It's shameful for the Jews. I'll tell you, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so saddened.
So me too.
That Jews, no matter what, continue to support Biden.
They're not there. They hate. You know what? They don't give a damn about Israel. They want to be accepted in society, so they're going to go along with the crowd. This is what do you think is going to happen when they turn on the Jews in this country? To these people who are chumming up with everyone, they're going to get it just as bad as any one of us are going to get it.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, and they don't understand, or they may not care, that all of these social issues that they're so passionate about don't mean a damn thing if the country's gone to hell. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a country, who you marry and what you do, socially, doesn't really matter.
That's so, for sure.
And they need to realize that, but sadly, they don't.
All right,
they just don't.
One more thing here. Talking about this, how big of a deal is Supreme Court Judge Amy Coney Barrett? First,
very big.
Yeah.
Very big. You see what happened in Pennsylvania, right? And I'll make this quick, but
yeah.
It was a 4-4. It was the Supreme Court ruled that they were not going to entertain the decision of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which allowed additional days to consider votes that came in, right?
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court ruled 4-4, which meant that it went back to the lower court's decision. But there's a pending, basically an appeal of that decision. So what's going to happen is the Supreme Court is eventually going to rule on this issue.
Yeah.
With Barrett in now, you're not going to have the chance for a tie anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to rule one way or the other.
And you know what they're doing now? They're trying to impeach
whether or not those ballots that were marked after the 3rd can be considered. And what's going to happen is the Supreme Court's going to rule on that after the election.
Yeah.
So what the Secretary of State for Pennsylvania did is he decided to put those ballots that are received late on the side and not count them.
Wow.
And he's only going to count them after the Supreme Court renders its decision. So if the Supreme Court with Barrett comes back and says no, it's unconstitutional what the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled, those ballots are not going to be considered.
Wow.
So that's why it's really important to break that tie. It's vital. And it's vital that it was done with somebody who's, tends to be more conservative. I don't know how Barrett is going to rule on that issue.
Well, and they're going to, they're going to impeach her. They're already talking about impeaching her. All right, one more thing, and then I got to really go. Clarence Thomas for Chief Justice. Quick.
That sounds great to me.
All right, we got to go. Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and hire you?
Find me on Thoughtfully Conservative on Facebook, at Thoughtful GOP on Twitter, and just look me up, Elad Hakim, any legal questions. Elad,
all I got to say to you is this. Those on top of the bubble should beware of the pinheads. You be careful. You be careful, okay? Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom, my friend. Hi to your lovely bride and all the kiddies, and Shabbat Shalom to them, too.
Thanks, guys. Be well. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, do we have anybody?
We haven't had any comments or anything as far as questions on Facebook yet.
All right, my next interview is 10:40, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Jane did mention that she received a message from Facebook when the video went down.
Yeah, and what happened? What was the message?
That the video had gone down.
Yeah, which video? Oh, the video of the show?
Our original start, yeah.
The one that, we worked so hard on.
Yeah. Yeah, are you guys that broke? In other words, you trying to? Why don't you say we're doing this to Weinbaum, and why don't you say why? Tell everybody what you're doing and why, and let's have be a man, Zuckerberg. You want to talk? I'll talk. Call the show. Tell me why you're doing this. What's wrong with this picture? If you don't agree with me, I don't have a problem, but I have a right in this country. It's called the First Amendment. And the people that listen to this show, they have a right too. They have a right to hear what I have to say. I'm not saying burning down anything. Okay? There's no exception for what I'm saying that you could use to get me off air. And you're soon going to, I don't understand what you're doing. I mean, really. You got all this power and you're misusing it. And that doesn't go well over a long period of time. Okay? Anyways, now what would I do if I owned a place like Facebook? What do I do on this show? Do I kick off people who are against what I say or against what I view? No.
We welcome them aboard.
Now, if you cuss at me and cuss, I could understand that. I'm not cussing anybody. I feel like it, but I'm not doing it. But I'm arguing.
You're getting a lot of amens to your rant, by the way, so a lot of people in support.
Well, that's great. I'm arguing points, and I'm more than willing to take counterpoints and argue it out. I'm like a lawyer without a degree.
There you go.
There you go. All right. What else we got here that we can do?
Well, I've got a clip here that talks about how concern is that Biden is compromised here now with these findings. So that one's kind of interesting.
Okay. Why don't you do that? Okay. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead. Roll it.
So I think Joe Biden and the Biden family are compromised. Obviously, I've referenced that I held a Q clearance. You're briefed on compromise and who you're able to talk with and deal and do business with. And I just don't see, given the history here and the facts, how Joe can't be influenced in some manner based on the history that they have here with CFC and stuff like that. I think the American people should be demanding that this is investigated, and I don't know what the right party to do that is. Is that the DOJ? Is that the FBI? Is that Congress? Is that the Senate? But there absolutely should be no scenario that this isn't investigated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I know who this is, and the minute I say her name, Facebook is going to shut me down. I don't care. Screw them. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is, why don't you play her song? And
County Road 233 under my feet.
I don't think that was her song.
Nothing on this white rock but a little oat me. I got 2 miles till he makes Bill.
It's a song.
And if I'm right, we're headed straight for him.
It's a tough song. So that's her. She's tough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, former conservative investigative journalist. She is running for Congress in Trump's home district in Florida. And she is the most banned person in history. And the bravest person I know. And as soon as I say her name, Facebook, I know it's going to cut me off. It's Laura Loomer. Laura, I realize you probably have other better things to do, and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. So far, you've run a real successful campaign. What else needs to be done? Have you thought of everything?
Well, I'm out at the polls right now as we speak. I'm sitting in the car, and I'm out here talking to voters as they go in to vote out in the parking lot, and there's 4.5 days left, so early voting is until Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then Monday is the day before Election Day. And then from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, that's it. People are going to be voting. So this is the last Super Saturday weekend. We call them Super Saturdays, right? Sure. Where you have all your grassroots volunteers out in the field knocking doors and canvassing. The last one before Election Day. And there is so much energy here on the ground in Florida. I mean, just this morning on CNN, David Axelrod and all the Democrats are crying because they said, well, we have a situation in Florida and it's really concerning. And it looks like the Democrats are actually underperforming the Republicans. Republicans are overperforming Democrats when it comes to early voting. So they're starting to realize that the lies they've been feeding the public, or the lies that they have so, I guess, ignorantly and arrogantly been consuming themselves about Joe Biden being supposedly 14 points ahead. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'm out on the ground every day here in Florida, and there's no energy for Joe Biden. Their volunteers are sitting at the tent right across from me right now, and they're on their phone with their backs to the voters while the Trump people are standing in the sun for 8 hours, myself included. So there's no energy for Joe Biden. Okay, no energy whatsoever. My campaign's counter-protests to Joe Biden's events have more attendees than Joe Biden's actual events. Okay, wow. There is no energy here for Joe Biden. There is no way that the Democrats are leading in Florida, and I'm telling you now, they're talking about.
Idar? Uh-oh. Laura? Laura? Let's. Somebody cut us off. Why don't you call back? Okay.
Okay.
All right, I got you now. Wait, hold on.
I could hear you.
All right, then I couldn't hear you. That's what it was.
Where did it leave off? Because I was talking about.
Let me ask you this. By the way, I want to mention that I just talked to Elad Hakim, the Perry Mason to the Weinbaum show. He said the same thing you did. He says it's looking terrible for the Democrats. And he says all the crap they were talking about earlier isn't coming true. Yeah. And that they've shot their load in terms of the early voting. And they didn't get everything they thought they were going to get in the early voting. And now it's like an avalanche. They don't know what to do.
Well, because they're not going to win. And also, too, people lie. People lie when they get called and asked by pollsters who they're voting for. And the Democrats have nobody to blame for that but themselves. If they hadn't have empowered Antifa and Black Lives Matter and rioters to go threaten people, to kill them in the streets, and they weren't cheering on the assassinations of Trump supporters in the street, and, the assaults and the belittling and the cancel culture of business owners who are conservative, then maybe people would actually be truthful when they're called and questioned about who they're voting for. Yeah. But I meet people every day who say, I get so nervous when people ask me. I either tell them that I'm not voting, or I tell them I'm Democrat, because you never know. And my husband's a police officer, and I met a lady yesterday at the hair salon who said her husband's a police officer, and she doesn't like talking about politics because she's so worried that someone's going to try to follow her home or her husband home and kill him because he's a police officer.
Exactly.
So, this is the country we're living in now, where people are terrified to even admit that they're Republicans. So you better believe people are lying about being Democrats, and it's showing at the polls.
Now you live in the largest Jewish area in Florida, don't you? The comparative population.
I live in the most Jewish district.
So lazy Lois thinks a larger Jewish vote will go to Dems because of the pandemic, because they're older. How about Jews? And how about Jews against Israel? Hating Jews like Lois and the Palestinians, panderers in the Democratic Party. Aren't there any Jews like that? What do you find?
Well, look, there are a lot of Democrat Jews here, but there's also a lot of Jews, and I think across the country, Jews are really waking up to the hatred in the Democrat Party for Jews and for Israel, especially with the embrace of Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, who are openly calling for the eradication of Israel, right? So there are a lot of people, and I actually met people in line at the polls who said that they don't like Trump and they're voting for Biden, but they're voting for me as Jews. So they're making a decision as a Jew to vote for Biden, but they're voting for me over Lois because it's the first time in U.S. history where two Jewish women are running against each other.
I have to ask this question. Are we still on Facebook? Laura Loomer?
As far as I can tell, I think so.
Laura Loomer, you are on Facebook right now.
Okay, wow. I'm sure I'll catch the feed soon.
And let's talk a little bit about that, about other than lock them up. What do you have to say about Facebook and Twitter and all the other places that you're barred from? You got a message for Zuckerberg and Dorsey and Sanjay, whatever his name is.
Sundar, they lied again during the hearings that they were on the other day. And, again, it's a dog and pony show. The senators there, they just want to get talking points. They don't want to really actually do anything. We need to stop having hearings. Okay. Enough of the hearings, more action. Everybody already knows people are being censored. Everybody knows these companies are giving a platform to terrorist organizations. Everybody knows they committed perjury. Okay. Let's get some action. Let's get some action and some consequences.
You want legislation.
No, I want the existing laws on the book to be upheld, and that means if you commit perjury, you go to prison.
Oh, okay. Fine.
And they've committed perjury, and they should be going to prison. They lied under oath to Congress about whether they're censoring conservatives.
Well, I got proof today. I mean, just today, and they've been doing this for weeks. We were thinking, well, maybe they got a problem, with tech or whatever. And no. Every time I mention Black Lives Matter, and listen to the interruption we just had on the phone. I always get that with you. Why? Hello, you there?
Get what? Get what with me?
Some interruption on the phone. Somebody else talking.
It's the we've realized throughout this campaign we've come down to the bottom of it because Comcast here is the main telecommunication provider in my district, and
do they hate you?
Me. They've been blocking me.
Yeah. So I believe now. Tell me what kind of world records are you setting with this election? Because it is the hottest one in the USA, barring the temperature.
So there's several. So I'll be the youngest woman ever elected to Congress. It is officially the most Jewish district, and that wasn't even before I ran for Congress. It wasn't. It's only newly established as the most Jewish district in the country. It's the first time in U.S. history where two Jewish women are running against each other for a United States House seat. I am officially the youngest congressional candidate to ever be voted for by a sitting U.S. president, because President Trump just voted for me on Saturday. So cool. I'm also the first Floridian congressional candidate to be voted by a U.S. president who it's the first time in U.S. history where a sitting U.S. president is a Floridian. So we're making history here. There's so many different things that are going in the history books with my election and, here in Florida this year and with the Jewish community and President Trump and the Republican Party. It's so exciting.
Well, anytime you want on this show, you let me know. And I know you were busy last couple of weeks. I didn't even ask you for a couple of weeks and I was wondering whether or not you'd even respond to me because I know it's the end of the campaign. But hopefully I can be enough good luck for you that this will carry you over because then I can take some credit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I am one of your contributors, which leads me to my next question.
You are.
Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and contribute?
You can go to LauraLoomerForCongress.com. That's LauraLoomerForCongress.com, and that's where you can donate online. We still need people to donate. We have a very robust and aggressive grassroots campaign. We're putting up signs. We're running ads. So anything you can donate in the final stretch in these next 4.5 days will really make a difference.
Laura, I was fired for making eyeglasses. I made a spectacle of myself.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop.
So real quick though,
Yes.
we just so Laura can hear this, we have comments on Facebook saying, "Love Laura Loomer," and somebody else saying she's a warrior. We need more like her. So.
Damn right, and I'm so proud that I know you. I really am. I consider you a good friend, and anything I can do for you, you let me know. Okay.
All
right. Good luck, hon.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay. How about that? Facebook, take that and. Well, no, I can't do that. Can I?
It stalled out again.
It's down.
Didn't hurt, but it's back up. But it stalled for a second with her. Yeah.
Oh my God! I got Laura Loomer back on Facebook.
Well, for how long? We don't know.
I don't know. All right. Any comments you guys got other than the ones you've told me?
That was the last ones I can see and all that because they want to make those comments to Laura with her campaign. You know, the election coming up and
All right, I got 10 minutes till Liz. So, Liz Cabrera, and you can call the show, 573-578-2700. Get it off your chest. Okay.
I think Gary had a recommendation for another platform for us to try. So
What's that?
I don't remember. I'm going to have to go in and read it.
Okay, I thought I saw that too.
Yeah, so we need
Gary from Texas, great.
We need to take a look at that.
Great fan of the show, and I appreciate everybody. I didn't write a list today because, I wanted to focus on this election and, whether I did or I didn't.
And we need everybody to like and share your page so we can get the message out as much as possible. Yep. And please follow us.
So let me talk a little bit about Lil Wayne. He is a black rapper, and apparently a lot of blacks who are very, very popular. You wouldn't think that what would a rapper want with Donald J. Trump? But he's met with Donald Trump. He's got who else does he have? He's got Herschel Walker. He's got Pastor Daryl Scott. He's got a lot of big blacks, Kanye and his wife Kim Kardashian.
Even 50 Cent came out the other day and said he doesn't want to be 20 Cent under Biden with his tax plan.
50 Cent. It's not 50 Cent, by the way.
50, yeah, I know. I said it wrong.
Come on, you got to talk like you're in the hood. It doesn't matter that It doesn't matter that you won't fit into the hood, but you could talk like that. You know?
I'm one of the whitest boys you're going to find, so I definitely cannot hide it very easy.
Interestingly enough, I grew up with black kids, and I played football and sports and stuff. Somewhat hung out, not totally, but I got into a lot of fights with them, and obviously knocked each other down in football and stuff like that. And we get along pretty good, I thought. All right, but that doesn't matter. Hi there, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave, JL calling you.
Hey, JL, what's happening, my man?
I'm so sorry you guys didn't cut off. Man, it was a mess today. I got to tell you what, it's a sad situation. And it should be, like Laura was talking about, illegal. There should be something done. She was talking about a different story. But Facebook should be charged some kind of I don't know.
She said the legislation is there for lying to Congress. And that's a felony in itself. But I think they ought to really change the FCC rating on them being a publisher, because they're not really a publisher. When you're a publisher, you can't do what they're doing. So they need to remove that restriction, and they need to be able to be sued.
Yes, I 100% agree, Dave. I mean, this is terrible. There's no reason for this. We're not causing a harassment suit against somebody or anything like that. It's just talk radio.
So what's crazy is we could talk about burn down buildings, do all this kind of stuff, and probably not get taken off air. But the minute we bring up BLM and Joe Biden, there we go.
Yeah,
Liz is
very correct. Well, I'll tell you a good one. I love my westerns. I love to watch the cowboys, and cowgirls, of course.
Yeah.
Miss Lisa. Anyway, I had to get that in there. I apologize. Anyway, this one, what am I trying to say? I don't want to mention the name.
But you got to tell me quicker, because
okay, all right,
I got my next interview.
They're the only TV channel that has all westerns. Strictly nothing else. That's
What
all
is
they have on there, and they have commercials. So what do we get? We get a commercial on there for BLM.
Oh yeah.
No kidding, Dave. I hate this.
Yeah,
anyway,
I know.
it says,
I don't like it either.
You know what you did. Now vote.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know what you did. Now vote.
Yeah.
What do you do? Whoa, you evil guy! I knew it was all your fault. I couldn't have been mine. Hey, what's Pelosi's favorite hotel perk?
I have no idea.
Broom service.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Save your joke for next week. I gotta call Liz back.
I just want to know which hotel she was at.
That's what we got to think about that one.
All right, God bless.
It has to be the Cauldron Hotel.
We can start a new line, I guess, of that one.
Yeah, there you go. All right, call Liz back. Golly. Whew.
She's really early.
She's very early, but that's all right.
Okay.
She's probably listening.
Gary commented,
Yeah.
sent the link again, and it's Clout Hub.
It's what?
Clout Hub is what it is. It says it's for meaningful civic, social, and political engagement.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
We're being censored.
Yeah, we're being censored. I'm fighting with Facebook on air. So,
Yep.
But you're not controversial, so I'm not worried now.
It's been ugly.
I just had Laura Loomer on the phone. You know,
I heard her too.
I got her back on Facebook. How about that? Anyways,
at least temporarily.
At least temporarily. All right, listen, I feel like I got to get up and dance, so let's play your song.
Here we go.
Okay.
She's into superstitions,
Whoa.
black cats and
Woo.
dolls. I feel a premonition. That girl's gonna make me fall.
Okay, triple cartwheel, backwards flip. All right. Ow! Oh, man. I hurt myself on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this woman was saved by an American great white shark when she was just 6 years old. Fidel Castro was chasing her, and he chased her right into the Caribbean Sea off Cuba. And she was dropped on the Miami beach where she and the great white shark walked the beach together with her baby sharks in the shallow waters, scaring the hell out of all the swimmers in South Florida. And so it's we're creating a movie right here. Let me tell you,
it's a love story.
It's great, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fiery Latina all the way from Miami, Liz Cabrera. And yes, I could roll my R's before I met you. Okay. Actually, we've never met, so maybe that'll happen someday.
That'll happen, hopefully.
Liz, I'm very sorry about your loss. I know that it's a tough time for you, and I urge all my followers and people that I know and don't know to, and I think you got a lot of people praying for you. So
so many.
Yeah.
I have my moments, where I fall apart, in my moments of I talk too much on Twitter, and my moments of I'm very calm because of all the prayers. It's the process.
You gotta have some fun. Let's have some fun today, and
let's
then,
do this.
You can
Let's
go back
do
in
this.
the morning and eventually catch up and stuff like that.
Yes.
No pressure here.
No pressure.
Other than that, I did expand the show for you today, just for you. Talk about no
I feel
pressure.
like a queen. What is?
Well, you are a queen. There's no doubt you are a big star in the Dave Weinbaum show. Go ahead.
She's our queen of Miami.
The Queen of Miami, yes. And she's the queen of the Latinos, apparently. And you're a friend, and you're an amazing patriot. And I never expanded my show in the 12 years of doing this. Of course, I wasn't allowed because I was working at radio stations.
Right.
But, I meant to talk with you about the convoy you attended a few weeks ago. And there were 30,000 vehicles? 30,000?
Oh, no.
No?
It was 50,000.
50,000? Now
Yes,
I heard Biden did the same thing. And he got 4 cars and
Listen,
3 of them were Yugos.
Funny. It's so funny. You should have seen that movement. It was completely off the charts. The amount of,
50,000.
and there's another one this weekend on Sunday. I'm not going, but there's another one coming, and I think it's going to be huge too. listen, he doesn't have caravans. He doesn't have boats. He doesn't have people. He doesn't have followers. Come on, stop the lying to me and telling me that he's got these ratings. Just like when Hillary was around, they're both going to lose. I mean, Hillary lost. This one's going to lose. They're both going back to their basements. They're going to cry. They're going to have their little titty Trump hissy fit. They're going to try to intimidate us. But you know what? It's done. I bet you. House, Senate, presidency. Just like we have a new court person now on our side. People are sick of them. And all they are is a negative party. All you hear is, put your mask on. Don't go to work. You're going to die. You're going to this. That's a lie. Listen, I was around 50,000 people.
Yeah.
I had to go to my mom's convalescent home. People were there with COVID too.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't die a day before God wants you. Yes, you need to take care. You need to put your mask. But you know what? There's a certain part that has to do with God.
Yeah, and it's going to be relegated to the flu once we get a vaccine. It's going to be a flu. And people don't die of COVID as much as they die of other things.
Exactly.
The things they're talking about, 220,000 deaths from COVID, well, 94% of those are connected to other things like
yes,
age
I had to
and
make
heart
sure
and
I
diabetes.
made sure in my mother's death certificate that it had nothing to do with COVID because she didn't have COVID.
Yeah, all right. But they could just as easily, put it on a paper because they get more money for it.
Sure, they do.
Sure
they do. They do everything they want.
Yeah.
But I was vigilant.
Honestly. Now let me just say this to you. I just covered the whole eastern coast from Virginia to Boca to West Palm Beach, now to Miami. In that order, I believe. Right, JP? Yeah. So and they're all saying this thing is over, that Trump's going to win. Now
he's going to win. Listen, today's news. I heard it on Fox. Yeah. Listen to this one. 33% GDP growth in the third quarter in our economy. That's number one.
Directly.
The Gallup poll today, 46% approval for the president. That's huge.
Yeah, well, Rasmussen poll has him at 52% approval, which is more accurate.
Exactly. And then 95% of all Republicans are with him.
Oh, yeah.
He's got this in his pocket. The only thing we need to do, I already voted, but the only thing we need to do is those people that are going to vote physically, they need to get there. My prediction, 11 p.m., more or less. This is over. And I don't even think they're going to need they're going to count all the votes. But I think it's going to be so outrageous, this red landslide that we're going to have, that he's going to be declared a winner because the votes that will be coming in will not matter.
Yeah. Hey, Laura Loomer is sitting at the polls, obviously not in the polls because that would be illegal, but she's watching and they got the Biden people there. She says the Biden people have their backs turned to the voters and everybody's coming up to her saying, "Laura, we're voting for you," and there's a lot of excitement. That was just 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so she's reporting that the excitement that she's generating there, and that people are coming up and saying we're voting for Trump, and that's the biggest Jewish community in Florida, and a lot of the Jews are Democrats.
Yeah.
So I think she might break through there.
Definitely with Trump.
Yeah.
I lived it when I went to that rally that I told you in the diplomat. They are with Trump.
Sure, but
and
the
Latinos
are going to be the most. I mean, Trump talked about it yesterday when he was in Florida. He's got this new kind of a plan. He revealed this American Dream Plan and aimed it at Latinos. And this guy keeps his promises. Promises made, promises kept.
Promises kept. Let me tell you, and with everything that they have thrown his way, Dave, another president would have not been able to handle all this. He's a superhero.
He got what did he get last time? About 25% of the Latino vote?
Yeah, I think
I think this time he might be close to doubling it, don't you?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's outrageous. Listen, I go out because the day I went to the caravan and I go out when I go to eat dinner, whatever, I see the cars at the restaurants with this huge flag. I mean, they're not even scared anymore. I'm telling you, the people are just coming out of the closet here from everywhere. Everywhere you go, Trump mask, Trump, and I'm not talking just one flag.
Right.
I'm talking about the cars in the restaurants with the huge flags, and they don't even care who vandalizes it at this point. They're ready.
And you know, the interesting thing is the mainstream media, because they're so inward drawn, they're not seeing it. They haven't seen it.
Oh, no, wait. I have something to tell you about that. Do you know that the day that I went to that caravan, none of the TV stations, radio stations here covered it. They didn't.
Probably the biggest thing politically that's ever happened in Florida. 50,000 cars in a convoy for Trump. And they didn't cover it. Let me tell you,
I don't even know how I was able to. Well, I got there very early. I was lucky. I was in the second line. I was right behind the bikers. If I hadn't gotten there early, I don't know what time I would have gotten home, because I'm telling you, it was a 5-hour caravan, and it was all over. And no, wait, the people on the streets, as they would see us pass by, the honking, even the people that did not have flags, that were not present, some were honking from the expressway. It was huge.
That's so
I
good.
was climbed on top of my girlfriend's car. She goes, let's open the thing up there. And I was doing the video, climbed up, and I kept telling her, drive careful. Drive careful. The phone could have got,
Now, you were wearing clothes, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yes, I have a story.
Well, I mean, you stand up in the back of a car in a convoy, and you never know, right? I don't know,
I have a story. Guess what happened? Because everything happens to me. I decided I wanted to wear these platform shoes that were comfortable.
Yeah.
And I hadn't worn them in years, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with them, because I didn't even wear them much. Oh my God, Dave, when I get there, the shoe breaks, and I told my girlfriend, what do I do now? I don't have any shoes. She goes to me, I'm a Girl Scout. What do you need? I have a dress, I have flip-flop, I have shoes. But the problem was, this is the funny part. I said, what size are you? She goes, 8. I said, that's not going to fit. The shoes are going to fall on me. I got flip-flops. I wore one size or 1.5 size larger flip-flops through the entire event. But I was there.
I tell you what, I got a story about that too. I spent a whole week wearing Lisa's high heels. I think I broke a bunch of blood vessels in my feet, but I did acquire a whole new set of really cool friends. I'll tell you that much. Anyways,
what are you doing between the whips and the shoes, Dave?
Wait a minute.
Too much information.
Wait a minute. Here we go.
I'm getting a lot of info. It's kind of getting juicy. I'm kind of enjoying it.
What are you doing? Where are you? Hey, what about where's your bit? This is your bit.
Let me tell you something.
That's you.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Hey, contrasting Trump to Biden, is like watching Superman compared to a weekend at Bernie's. It's like he's being carried in, he's carried out. They close the lid. It's like they close the lid on his coffin in his basement, and he comes out like Dracula every once in a while, totally controlled by other people.
No, he looks dead to me.
He does.
It's like, seriously, he doesn't look alive. And then you see Trump, he's going,
yeah.
It's like night and day. It's like Christmas and a funeral. It's like, I don't even know what to describe this. They look so morbid. They look pathetic.
Yeah.
The story with his son is not going away. It's getting worse by the moment.
Oh, yeah.
It happens. And let me tell you, once Trump wins, they better all get themselves in hiding, or they better go live in China where they belong or something, because I do not think he's going to get away with this one. And I think a lot of people...
Everyone else has gotten away with it. I don't know what the hell's going on. Where's Barr? God, what a big failure that was.
Let me tell you, you know what I think,
What?
Dave? I've always thought this. There's so many Republicans that are iffy to me.
Yeah.
That even though he's barred and he was chosen and whatever, we think about what I'm going to say. We really never know what another human being is really thinking or plotting or whatever. And I think Trump has had a lot of enemies. Thank God our president is fearless. And thank God everybody on Twitter, Facebook, veterans, Catholics, Jewish, including some Vietnamese people where I do my nails, are for Trump. I mean, thank God we're all fighting together for this cause and that God has us by the hand, because had it not been for this force that we've had for the last 4 years, it would have been really difficult. And besides, Trump is a master chess player. He knew from get-go how to market his account, and he did a heck of a job.
Last week's show I called him. It was his Perry Mason moment, and that afternoon he used it in a speech in Pennsylvania. He said, I was like Perry Mason out there. Trump did. And so it was really cool.
He hears. I think he hears more than what we think. I think he's got people looking at, many things that we say, because we are out there, and he gets to see it because he gets ideas. So it's not strange that he would, even hear your show or hear what you got to say.
I think he might. I think he might. I know he knows who I am, but it's kind of interesting to see that he would use the exact same words. I mean, how many people know about Perry Mason out there? Really, that's kind of an old 54.
That's an old show. That's an old show. I remember it. So let's not give away my age, but just to remember it. Yeah. And it was a very interesting show. And some of those shows play and replay, and other people see it too. Yes, definitely. Let me say it once again here. Tuesday is the election.
Yeah.
Trump wins. We were all going to be very happy. We will all need to be very careful afterwards for a little bit. Let me tell you something. And things will go back to normal.
I love that when you say this.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
That's pretty good.
Let me tell you something. Trump wins 11-3, 11 o'clock, 12 p.m. max.
All right, listen to me.
Listen to me, please.
Now listen to me. I'm talking just like you. What the hell's the matter with me?
That's exactly how you
need to make another bit for you now with that one.
Yeah, listen to me. I got to do it with your accent, though. You hardly have an accent. So where can people find you these days?
Okay, Twitter, Parler, and I closed down my Facebook for some reason.
I know. Why'd you do that?
Passed away. I go crazy sometimes, and I say, I don't want to deal with this. It's too many things, and I'll open it again. Don't worry, it'll go back up. My main account is really Twitter, and actually, you're my main thing here. So you're on my phone. You have a direct line to Jesus and to Latina on Fire. And
it was funny because
into the chart that brought her from Cuba, who's in love, and they're having kids and.
Well, I wasn't counting on you to be on the show, and when you said you wanted to do it, I already filled the show.
Honestly,
so I was standing there.
Let me tell you, since I have been, the morning progress is really hard, and you go up and down like a roller coaster. And then I thought to myself, how on earth can I not be in the last show? And I thought to myself, I was there with my mother. I love her with all my heart. She loves me. She would want me to be happy. Yeah. This makes me happy going on your show. We're about to win the most important election in history. How can I not be on it? And I thought to myself, let me call them back now and tell them I really want to go.
Right. So I'm on the phone and I'm saying, Liz wants on the show. And she said, well, yeah, but it's, your show's over at 11. And I says, well, guess what? I don't work for anybody, so I can be over whatever time I want to be over. Facebook can't tell me when to be on and
Thank you. You and Lisa and everybody there. You've been more than wonderful to me.
I know you.
And I hope to God that because of our work together and our voices together and everybody you've had on your show and Laura and the likes of everybody that has been on your show fighting for Trump, that next week maybe we can go back on air and say he won.
I hope so. We will have a big celebration I guess I'll buy the beer. I don't know.
Hey, Liz, I have a development here. You might have to reconsider a new song because I see that Ricky Martin says it's super sad to see fellow Latinos back Donald Trump. So,
really? I take back all those cartwheels. Ricky, no more cartwheels for you.
Disappointing, Ricky.
We can use Ricky Rebel, or we can use Los Tres de La Habana, who has a song in English and in Spanish, and we can do the English version of Ricky Rebel.
We don't
need Ricky, the other Ricky.
Yeah.
We got another Ricky.
You get me the one you want,
good.
okay? And let me know.
Okay, well, think about it. I love you.
So I love you too. Hey, other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find you?
I would love everybody to follow me at LizCabrera.com on Twitter. And I'm Parler, and I'm going back to Facebook because I love to death all of you.
All right.
Even though I go through my motions.
I think I'm getting on Parler. I'm going to run my show on Parler now.
I am on Parler.
I don't know how to do it. I gotta get trained in how to do it. Hey, Liz, I lost my job as a censorer. I had a bleeping disorder. There you go. Well, you're the one giving me the crickets on that, and that's what you have.
I know, but everybody loves the crickets. We got to give them what they want, though.
Okay, whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever. Hurt my feelings. I don't care.
Okay, so what's your prediction? I'm going to interview you. Your prediction, Dave. What time does this end?
What time does it end? I don't think it's going to be over at 11. I don't think they're going to want to admit it until a couple days out. They're going to do everything they can.
Right,
do you know how scared this is running scared? This is the Democrats and the people that have committed crimes are all running scared, and they're going to delay this as much as possible. You're going to have riots in the streets, and they're going to try maybe to take over the government because they're already saying what they're going to do. They're going to raid Washington. They're going to make it so Trump's going to have to call out the troops. I think
let him do it. We're not afraid. Bring it on.
Well, I would agree. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be over Tuesday night. Or they're not going to call it. Let's put it that way.
Well, they won't call it. We'll know by the amount of votes, won't we?
We'll know something.
I think we'll know by the next morning.
I think maybe the next morning, maybe Tuesday night. I don't know. I'm not thinking it's going to be that close either. I think we're going to win, and I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure we're going to keep the Senate, and I'm hoping we change the House too. I mean, we don't need Nancy Pelosi. Those people in there are just...
They're evil.
Evil. Yeah, absolutely.
Evil.
I mean, you got some great congressmen there, GOP congressmen, and there needs to be more of them. We need like Laura Loomer being in that.
Can you imagine her there representing us? That would be amazing.
Oh my! I'd love to see her in these.
Talking about setting the place on fire.
Oh my God!
She'd be like the Donald Trump of the.
Well, she'd be Donald Trump's representative. Do you believe that? I mean, it's so historical what she's doing.
I just can't imagine that, and I think she's going to win. I predict she wins too.
Liz, you know what? We're a part of history, really. And
I know, isn't it wonderful?
With my wife here, Lisa and JP, and all the people that are listening to the show, I don't know whether you feel it or not, but this is like
I do.
This is like stuff in the last 12 years that has anyone ever experienced this kind of political
movement? No.
Fury and revolution and fights and societal breakdowns.
It's beautiful to watch, though, in a way. You know that?
Well, it's beautiful to watch if we can come out with a good solution.
American heart and the heroes that are really fighting for their country behind the scenes, and the ones that are actually doing it even in the front lines.
Yeah. All right, listen, I got to get JP going here because we got to send this show off to other places. And
God
Liz,
bless you. Oh.
You have a great weekend, and thank you so much for being here. And again,
my honor.
You know what? You gotta mourn. You gotta take some time and mourn.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself,
okay,
hon?
Yeah.
And call anytime.
I haven't slept much, but I will.
All right, we'll call
now
anytime.
After I talk to you, I'm so happy.
All right. Well, I'm happy too. I'm happy that you called. I think it was a good thing for you, and a great thing for us.
So your final send off, Liz. One more time. Here you go.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
There you go, hon. You take that and get some rest.
I love that.
Get some rest, okay, hon? Okay, that's Liz
have a blessed
Cabrera,
weekend.
everybody.
And let's win.
She will be back. All right. Thank you.
I will.
Hasta la vista. I don't know if that's
Up to next week. We're going to win.
Next week,
you better
yes.
bring me back.
Okay, I got to cut it. My wife, what are you doing?
I want to make sure we get a very, very important announcement out.
What's that?
Vote yes on Amendment 3
Yes.
in Missouri.
That's
People
right.
are so confused and think yes is bad for us. It's actually the only way to prevent voter fraud.
And vote for Hardwick,
yes.
Bill Hardwick down there in Waynesville, okay? All right, thank you, darling. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I want to
love you,
thank.
Lisa.
I want to thank. Bye-bye. She said bye-bye. All right, I want to thank everybody who's listened to this show. It was kind of a wrenching show to see what Facebook did. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, but you're not. I know you're not. But I would never do the same thing to you. Never. Okay, because I like to hear the other side. What you have, you got a bunch of young people probably working for you who are leftists, and I'm sure they're not doing this all on their own.
Sometimes if I need a good laugh, I listen to a liberal because then it definitely just makes me laugh.
Okay, yeah, but I like that. There are some people that have some serious arguments that I like, and
There are some.
And I'd love to have I love to have liberals on the show because it's fun. Because everybody raises their level a little bit, and people with a decent argument, with reasoning on both sides, and that's the way it ought to be, But this,
you just don't see it as much now as you did before, though.
Well, you're not going to see it apparently if the left gets away with this. They have subverted this country, and their idea of an argument is to cut conservatives like myself off, and to cut off my listeners. And I'm not going to put up with that. I'm going to figure out a way to win. And get out the vote. Come on, everybody. Get grandma, get the kids, get everybody out there as soon as possible to vote. And watch your vote go into the ballot box. Don't let them write crap on it and stuff like that. Let's do our duty as Americans, all right? And that is to vote. Okay, this is it for me. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back, hopefully, with a victorious show next Friday on the Dave Weinbaum Show. Thank you.